Hello, hello. We're gonna start some tortilla making. Let's see. I want to go over some of the items here. So if you have, let me turn this camera around. If you have a stand mixer, I'm gonna be honest, this is the only way I make them every weekend because this is the fastest way. Of course, tortillas are labor intensive, so I mean, you can do them the old-fashioned way if you'd like, but I mean, usually it's just a lot faster. So you just need a dough hook and your stand mixer. Let's see, you need a rolling pin, your cup. I have flour. I mean, I use flour for days, so you always keep it in this. You'll need your oil of your choice. If you want to use lard or whatever, you're just going to mix it in like a pie crust. Here's the baking powder. There's some salt. My cutting board made by Jeff Pasquale. Thank you, Jeff. And I use it to roll out my tortillas. You need some hot water, as hot as you can possibly stand it. This one is at, what is that, 158 or so. But it needs to be hot, otherwise your dough will not be okay. It will be too tough to deal with. So there's a mixing bowl. If you're fancy, you got a tortilla warmer. If you're not so fancy, just grab a piece of foil, a napkin, or this is a dough cloth, so you won't get any, hey Lisa, so you won't get any lint on your dough. So that works too. And you always want to have like a napkin or the towel because you want to get all the moisture out of your tortillas, otherwise they'll just turn to sog. And the first step is, here's the comal. I just bought a griddle. This is like for camping, I think, lodge griddle. And I just bought this thing, and that's my comal. So anyhow, here's my comal, and I'm gonna put it like at a, sorry, I didn't clean up from my potatoes earlier. So there's about medium, probably medium high. I'm gonna put it at about a 6 or so. So there's what the flame looks like. Because you want it nice and hot. No, I just started, Maribel. Just started. Haven't done anything. Just going over equipment. See? Flour. Okay, so anyhow, here we go. I'm gonna put this phone down and start going to work. Or actually, let's do the stand mixer one first. That way we have some dough I can show you right away, and then I'll go into the hand mixing it. So I'm gonna do a small batch today of each because I'm doing both. And it's easier to do small batches if you're gonna have to mix by hand. So I'm just gonna get about 2 cups of flour. So there's 1 and 2. Normally, if I'm doing this in the stand mixer, I'm going to do about 4 cups of flour, but for demo purposes, we will do it this way. Now I'm going to get my baking powder. So here's this guy. And for 2 scoops of flour, I'm probably only going to use 1. I'm used to eyeballing this, people, so my measurements are not great, only because I eyeball usually. And then here's old school salt. That was my mom's, so let me get. You can always adjust the salt if you think you need more, use more, but nothing worse than a salty tortilla that it doesn't take in, you need it to be good for the flavors that you're using. And the only thing I didn't get out was a measuring deal for this. So if we're doing 2 cups of flour, we don't want to put too much oil into it. Gosh, I really want to eyeball this, but I don't, because if you guys are watching, then you're not going to get it. So let me just back that thing up. And so we have 2 cups of flour, and I have here a 1/4 cup of, let me get that guy does not want to stand up right. Just going to pour some of this oil right in here. I didn't fill it up all the way. I don't think we quite need that much oil for just 2 cups of flour, so that's almost 1/4 of a cup. So there's that. And very, 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 very important that you put the oil before the water, because if you don't do it in that order, your oil and water, I mean, your water will be your oil will be useless and the water will just make it tough. So always put the oil first. Hi, Pam. Okay, now at this point, I've got some hot water here. It's probably about 1.5 cups. We're probably only going to need about 3/4 of a cup for this. So I'm going to slowly drizzle that in. Sorry, let me back it up. Okay, and then you can kind of see it's kind of starting to turn a little shaggy looking. But it's definitely going to need a little bit more. And just so you know, it's always better to put a little more water than not enough water. Because if you don't put enough water, the dough will be really tough and it's hard to mix it in after the fact. So, and anyhow, my mom did have a trick where it was just, I put 2 cups of flour for this one, Dina. I'm just doing a small batch right now, just in case you don't have a stand mixer. I'm going to get to the bowl mixing in just a bit. So here's this. You see how it's still kind of shaggy looking, but it's mixing. My mom used to actually just wet her hands towards the end. Let me see. Here we go. Now we've got it going pretty good. I might have made it a little too much water, which is a good thing because I can show you how to fix that real quick. So it's kind of, well, I don't know, it looks pretty good. Kind of picking it all up. But anyhow, I was going to say it's a good thing because you can always add more flour to it than the opposite way is harder. So this might be a little bit too moist. So what I would do is just grab a little bit of flour, toss it in there, and let it roll again. So once that gets mixed up, so I don't throw flour at myself. So you see how that's kind of like starting to pick it up. And it's no longer all gooey at the bottom. So start to roll it all up. Carlos, you're retarded. You guys are funny. Hi, Ruben. Our weather is pretty warm, I would say. Yeah, Lena, this is easier. I do it by mixer every weekend, so it's so much easier this way. But I mean, I still can do it by hand. But okay, I'm gonna stop it here. And then I might have to ask Charles to come and get involved so he can hold the camera for me. Come here, Charles. Chuck. Okay, so I'm just going to get this dough out of here. And you can see this is very, very soft. This dough is going to be a little bit sticky, so I could probably, well, I'm going to let it rest right now. I'll talk about that one later. Let's not get you too confused. So there's a nice, soft, pliable dough. Very soft. So let's put that down. And then we need a dough cloth. Dough cloth, again, has no lint, so you can actually put it on your cloth or on your dough without getting any lint on it. So it's pretty safe. So we got to let that rest. So while we're letting that rest, let me get going on this one. So here's our other water, and let's just make sure it's pretty warm still. Hi, Ruben. Oh, I already said hi. I guess he's saying hi back. Okay, so this is at 140. I'm just gonna dip my finger in there. It feels just warm-ish. So we kind of want it to be, just put it back over. We kind of want that water to be to where you can barely stand to touch it. So here's 1 cup of flour, 2 cups of flour. I should start talking to my Julia Child's voice, Nadine. Let's see. So what we have here is our baking powder. We're going to put 1 spoon. Okay. Anyhow. Okay, so here's, thank you, Charles. Very excellent. And here's our salt. And again, I eyeball this, but here we'll just. So now that was 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and I'm about to add just a little under 1/4 cup of the oil. So we'll throw that in. If you prefer lard, go ahead and just get 1/4 cup of lard in there and get it and just mix it up like if you were doing pie crust, and just kind of mix it up until there's like little pea-sized chunks or whatever. You just want to, and then the water here will break it down. Water has to be hot in order to activate that baking powder to get the gluten to relax and all that good stuff. So
and be stretchy.
And to be stretchy, yes. Thank you, Mr. Chemistry. So there's a reason behind this madness of this hot water. And I had been making tortillas before this way, like when I first started, and they kept coming out like crackers and biscuits, and I was like, why are they so tough? Why are they so cracky? Why are they so awful? Then I realized my mom's voice came into my head, and I was like, oh yeah, Mom said as hot as your hands could stand it. So I think that looks about good. Everything, the oil's pretty much mixed up. So anyhow, I remembered Mom said as hot as your hands could handle it. Of course, we're not going to have that steady stream like we did with that mixer because it was going crazy. So you're just going to kind of a little bit into the center there and just mix it up. It's going to be all flat first because it sticks to your hands like, I got it. And a little bit more. I had the water. I don't know if you have a temperature gauge, you can use it. You really don't have to if you're going to do this method. Just as long as you dip your tip of your finger in there and you can handle it, then great. If not, let it cool off a little bit. I'd hate for anybody to get burned. Yeah. Let's see here. There's some more water. And this bowl was given to me by my mom, so that's kind of a precious deal. She gave it to me when I bought my first home back in 2000. So, very nice of her. A little bit more water. And at this point, we kind of have this shaggy looking dough. Just gotta keep kneading at it. And this is going to be the part where we don't want to add too much water, so just a drip at a time rather than that whole pour. Getting a little messy there. Okay, a little bit more. I guess you can use less water with the stand mixer since it just really gets in there and gets everything going. But so here's this guy. Let's see. There we go. That's starting to feel good. I'm just going to really just work it. Good arm strength workout, right? Mm-hmm. My shoulder's strong.
Well, you can appreciate that standing weight.
Maybe I should be doing this more often. The gym not being open. Well, it's open now, but. So now we've got a good dough. It's nice and soft, pliable, but we could take it out of this now, and I'm just gonna fold it over a few times, just kind of get it nice and kneaded. And at this point, if it still feels kind of dry to you, mine does not, but you would basically just kind of dip your fingers, and it's amazing what just a little dip of the fingers can do. You don't want to overdo it at this point. So if it feels dry and not pliable, you're just gonna keep dipping your fingers in the water and just keep working it until you get the right consistency. You see how it's much easier with the stand mixer, but clearly I'm not doing this every weekend like this. It just takes up too much time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, let's see. We're getting there. No questions? Okay.
Just a few comments.
Okay. A live photo. I said, never mind. Yes, you do need to go get a mixer. Thanks, Pam. Actually, I think this could use a little bit more on the water.
Okay, so much easier on the
Oh yeah, so much
mixer.
easier on the mixer. Yep, Dina, you must invest in one. I actually have two, so maybe we should do a trade.
Fair trade.
Fair trade, right? Hey, Cousin Desiree. Pineapple. Pineapple in the house. Okay, I think I'm gonna let this one rest now. Dang it, I forgot to put my apron on. But I did put my earrings on just in case my dad was watching. See, I could be classy like Mom too. I don't want to get scolded for that. Got those earrings on. Okay. So yeah, that one, we're gonna let this dough, kind of a nice dough. Let that one rest. And let's switch the towel over here. And we're done with this water. And this water, so I'm gonna clear that out. And now for this. So I'll do a couple. I won't do them all right now. So basically, you want to pinch off about a golf ball size. Roll it into a rolla. And then, like my mom would say, you're gonna make some discos out of it. My little Carlitos has it down pretty well. So here, let's do 4. I'll let that one rest with his homie over there. Okay, so discos are basically you're pressing with your palm and your fingers are on the underneath and you're just kind of moving and pressing, moving and pressing, moving and pressing. I guess it takes years of practice for that one. This just makes, I mean, you don't have to do this part. You don't have to do this part, but it does make for a better, more roundy tortilla. Because if you don't do this part, you could have the state of Texas or Florida or whatever might happen. So this kind of gives you a head start on that circle, and smooth edges, because if you don't do that tuck and roll thing on the side, see how it's kind of tucking and rolling, then you could leave, like my husband tries to cheat, and his idea is to leave it in the ball and press it, which, I mean, I guess it could work, but I guess it irritates me that my mom does it that way and, you know, hubby does it this way. He's just like,
slap it.
Man status, right? Just, hey. And then I catch him doing this. I'm like, hello? But, I mean, he gets it done. Okay, whatever. Whatever makes you happy. So these would normally just sit off to the side. Now, at this point, if your dough is too dry, I have a solution for that. Make sure you steal those grocery bags or plastic wrap or something from
borrow.
Oh, you're going to borrow them. Sorry, my bad. Borrow those, the bags from the grocery store for your produce. And they work wonders for dry dough. Just lay it right over that and cover it up while you're rolling out this one. These ones are already moisturizing, like back up. So my dough's not dry, so I don't need it. But just so you know, if you ever have dry dough, this will work wonders on it. You're so funny, Sylvia. Did your mom not teach you the bolas and the discos? So here, let me work on the disco, that the husband status disco. So here's my it was just a regular rolling pin. My mom never had the those little ends on hers. I know they come that way, so I took mine off and just made it. My mom's stick was a lot more narrow, or what do you call it, skinnier?
Thinner, yeah.
It was thinner, but I just bought a regular rolling pin and took the sides off because you won't use that because you need to feel pressure in the palm of your hand. So this is, you're basically gonna go 1, 2, and then flip it about halfway across that, I don't know, if that makes sense. Rotate it, I guess, like a quarter. And then rotate it about a quarter again. And then if you're having problems with it, doing stuff like that, go ahead and just get some flour and just kind of sprinkle it over the top, and it won't stick to your palo. So here's the first tortilla.
The translucency of the board.
Yeah, we'll do it in a second. So the idea here is to be able to see kind of through the tortilla. I don't know if you could see kind of through it. You see the board, the lines, and you kind of want to be able to see kind of through it, but okay, we get the point. And then your comal should be nice and hot. Let me just, my mom's test. So that seems like it's nice and hot. I'm gonna put it down to medium because we don't want to burn our first tortilla. But it also shouldn't take you that long to cook it. It needs to cook quickly or it will become hard and cracker-like. So down, and you should see all those little bubbles forming right away. We're just gonna get that, flip it right over, and we got perfect little brown hash here, or whatever you call it here, brown marks, toasty marks. And that's pretty much what you want to see, all those little bubbles and whatnot. I'm gonna take it off before it becomes a cracker. But there's that. And I'm gonna use my not so fancy warmer, so you just kind of toss it in there and in here. And that should keep it nice and toasty for a while. So I'll do one more roll out just so you can see what that's like. And no, Nadine, I'm not making a house over here. I used to always complain that I rolled too hard, made a house. Sounds good, Dina. Hi, Marisa. Miss you. Hey, Becky. Okay, so here's one more. Sorry, I do hear my mom's voice all the time. Like, that's too thick. That's not ready yet. So my mom would probably approve of this because I could see the board through it. Not a perfect circle, but it's enough to wrap something in. So don't get too crazy with your... So here's that. You could kind of see my hand through that. So there's that. The nice bubbles are forming already. Okay. And then you just turn that over. And again, I have my heat at medium. And if you're working pretty fast, the comal actually loses heat from each tortilla. So you probably want to go a little bit above the heat. I mean, go a little bit above the medium. But here we are, we're done. Nice and pliable. I can fold it, roll it tight. So
Flip it and reverse it.
yeah, all that. Smack it down. Oh no. Throw some butter on that bad boy. Whatever, butter and salt. But anyhow, so now I have all this dough and I gotta find someone here in Vegas that needs some tortillas. Because I already made some this morning and I have a dozen. But anyhow, you get the picture. Does anybody have any questions, or everybody's all good on that? No questions? Oh.
Gonna eat one now?
No.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just kidding. Okay. The tortilla bubbles up. You put it. Good one, Marissa. I like that. Yes, you used to tell me I was building a house, Dina. Silly. So anyhow, that's pretty much it. Now I got all this dough to roll out. Yay me. I might need a glass of wine with that. I think my mom would, thank you, Lena. Love you. I think my mom would tell me I need a glass of wine so I could finish, rolling these out. Actually, she would always say, you're so silly, Dina. Just make a quick dozen. Just throw together the two cups. It'll be easy. So anyhow, all right. Marisa, I'm trying to get something started with little Carlos, but he never wants to wear, we're ready with our wine, huh? He never wants to wear clothes, so I'm trying to get...
I am wearing clothes right
He's
now.
wearing clothes now. With his...
I've been wearing clothes.
Hey, Gilbert. Love you, miss you. So, anyhow, I'm going to drink some wine and roll the rest of these out. You can smell my tortillas, Dina? How sweet. Love you too, Sylvia. So anyhow, if you had any questions, Rachel Ray and Rachel Calderon show. There we go. It'd be the Raquelita show. Or I could be silly. Tell my mom she come use. Oh, there you go, Dina. Go use Angeline's mixer and make her some and make some for you. There you go. Perfect idea. That's great. So I know Gilbert, he wants it to be an experiment. And he's on the COVID. Oh, my bad. I'm showing you guys the wall. Sorry. He wants that hair to be an experiment, and he thinks he's going to do quarantine hair, and he wants to see how long it's going to grow until the end of summer, and he has to go back to school. So that's what he wants to do.
August 10th.
So anyhow, sorry, I didn't realize I had you guys just staring at the at the wall. That was silly. Anyhow, yeah, Dina, go to Angeline's house. That'll be a snap. You can make her dough. Cheers, cousin. Oh, wait, I think my husband's getting my wine glass filled. He's working. So, Dina, get your butt going over. It finally broke down and cut mine. Oh, there you go, Gilbert. I bet that long hair looked good on you. Why didn't you take a picture? Marissa, I think about you all the time. I wish I was living in San Jose still, because I remember how we used to have dinners and swap food and all that good stuff. I miss that. Full caveman. Carlos almost did that too. Oh, hi, Carlos. Hi, Carlos. Carlies. That's Carly. Salud. Salud.
Coming.
Salud, salud. Oh, let me smell that. This was gifted by my niece, Shannon, actually. So,
Cheers to the cameraman.
Cheers. I hope you all make some good tortillas. Oh, Carlito, Mike wants to see your hair.
Here's the bush.
Look at this.
Here's the bush.
Look at this.
It's the singing bush.
Tomorrow we will be making espresso.
I'll drink plenty for you, Cousin Jessica.
Tomorrow we'll be
Cheers.
making
Oh, this is good.
Tomorrow I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
be
Shannon.
making
Oh, yeah. Carlitos is going to make espresso in the morning, so we'll video that. But I might do that on I don't know, on a YouTube or something. Yeah, his hair is very brown. Oh, my wine or the hair? Oh, my gosh. Okay, I love you guys too. It's been way too long. So if anybody has any questions on these tortillas, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. And maybe next time we'll do something like enchilada sauce, which I know my family probably already knows how to make that, but we'll figure it out. We'll find something else, maybe chile rellenos or something. This is Griffon, I don't know. Well, that's not going to help you when it's backwards, but
oh well.
Griffon Sagiozzi, whatever. It's from Shannon. It was a gift. Mike's supposed to know.
Oh,
Went over the hair.
It's Italian.
Oh, it's an Italian wine, eh? Oh, I miss you all too. Doing my Julia Child's voice. You're right, Lena. You're right. Everybody, like I've learned a lot from you too. Especially that trick with boiling the ground beef. That was awesome. That one works all the time. Love it. So, yes, Italian wine. Cheers. Salud. Oh, wait. I need Carlitos is going to exit this video with a grite. You got it down, right? I told him Grandpa Louie would be proud. All right. I love all you guys. And we'll probably do this again with something else.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you.
On the Rachel
Love you
channel.
all. Bye. Yeah, we will do this. We'll do this. Sure. I'll find something else to do. Love you.